Namaskar. Welcome to Awakening with Brahmakumaris. Welcome, sister.
Om Shanti.
This is in continuation of our series, Soul Connections on Relationships. We have, I don't know how many, but we have hundreds of emails, and I've just picked up a few. And we have a few important questions from the viewers, from the audience. The first question is, she says, my question is regarding your current topic of relationships on husband and wife. In my marriage, how happiness is in my relation with my husband. This is a very unique situation which is far away from normal people's normal problems. Anyway, she lives abroad and she's talking about her husband being having some ADD or something, some anger management problem, and he was physically abusive along with his family members during the first few years of marriage. And then she says that after my marriage, I played the role of a mother to him, not a wife. And I had no energy to change his whole family, so she shifted. And she has a problem, says, after lots of counseling, religious efforts, spirituality, it is all right, a little bit okay between us now, husband and wife, but there is no love and respect in my heart for him. He is really, really trying very hard to change and love me and my kids, but I just do not feel his love or love for him at all. Now she's in a problem.
This happens with many of us. If there has been something, any reason for a conflict in a relationship, like in this case it is the anger and the abusive nature of the husband and also physical violence, or sometimes it is that a husband or a wife has betrayed the other in a relationship. Very many reasons, but many of us are able to cross that phase. Be able to cross, and we're able to forgive, and we're able to help the other person, and we're able to get everything back to what we actually always wanted it to be. And then once it's back to what it was meant to be, now we say, but we're not feeling the same. Like in this case, when there was the actual problem, when the husband was violent, she was so good with him. She was healing him, and she's helped him. Yeah, which means empowerment, and it is that role which has healed that soul. And she's saying that
I don't have any energy left. I've done my best.
Yeah, but now the important part is, it's like what you wanted, you put in all your effort and you got it. And now that you have it, you say you don't love it,
but
or you say, I am not experiencing any kind of love from there.
But sister, the husband is trying now. She tried and she worked hard on it. What about now? He is trying to get back that love, and she says, she's being very honest about it. She's not able to get it.
See, most important is, as we've discussed over the last few weeks, it's not about getting love. It's about giving love. She said, I'm not experiencing that love and respect. So first I need to stop, the wife needs to stop and ask myself, not experiencing that love and respect from which direction? Not experiencing something inside me, or I feel I'm not experiencing something from the opposite person. Now first, to expect something from the opposite person is not being very fair to that person right now, when we are realizing that the person has gone through so much. It is, he has worked so hard on himself, has overcome his anger, has given up his physical violence, healed himself, and reached to a stage where he's stable. And she is accepting that he loves me a lot and he loves my children a lot. Now the problem is, maybe I, the soul, the wife, with that energy, I have depleted myself so much in the last few years that I am feeling that emptiness inside. It's my own emptiness now, because it's like, suppose somebody is physically ill in the house And I work so hard to heal them. And at the end of 6 months, they get healed, but I'm fatigued.
Yeah.
I'm absolutely exhausted because all the energy that I have, it's depleted.
So what does she do now?
Because while I was taking care of them in those 6 months, even physically, I probably neglected my health.
Yeah.
I was putting in everything on taking care of them.
So she should have taken care before she started healing him?
While the whole process also, when you are taking care of someone, we forget that we have to take care of ourselves while we are taking care of other people. While she was healing the husband, she has also been creating pain. She's been worried, fear, hurt, anxiety, and in spite of all this energy, she's taking care of him, which means she must be tolerant outside, patient, not withdrawn from the situation, stuck to being there with him and the children, which many people say we're here for our children, otherwise we would have left. So internally turmoil, but externally been there with him.
In short, stable.
Yeah.
She was not stable.
She was not stable internally, though she was very strong outside. So that requires too much of strength, where internally you're in pain, but you're doing externally more than your internal capacity allows you to do. So that really depletes you. That really depletes you. It's like lifting this chair again. I don't have the power and yet I want to lift it. So if my limbs are weak and I still say, no, but I'm going to lift this chair, and I take this chair and I move at the end of the corridor, by the time I move at the end of the corridor, you know what would have happened to my arm? So I cannot and I should not lift the chair without first taking care of myself. Now, most of us in the field of relationships want to take care of each other. We want to heal each other. And we feel it's okay if I'm in pain inside, as long as I'm playing my role of wife, mother, daughter, parent, whatever well. And well means you are shouting, I'm quiet. You are hitting me, but I'm still sticking around with you. And I'm thinking that I'm playing my responsibility well. This is how an ideal wife or an ideal parent should be, an ideal child should be. But internally, my capacity doesn't allow. And this is what will happen. This is kind of a breakdown.
This lady has suffered, and that person used to get drunk and physically abuse her and beat her. This is a story maybe of 20 years, 22 years. Supposing this is happening with a woman today, right now, can you explain that first before we go to the next step? Next step, I would request you to tell her what to do now. But for the person who's listening now, supposing it is just first year and this is happening to a woman, what should she do?
One is that let's put physical violence separate and first look at anger management.
Okay.
Let's say my partner, husband or wife, whatever, is very loud, very angry, very abusive. I've understood the personality trait of the opposite person. But one is that every time they react, I also go in pain. Because I take that reaction as an attack on me.
And I react.
I react internally, even if I don't react outside. Many people might not react outside today, with the responsibility that I want to keep this relationship intact and for my children and everything. So they keep quiet. But by keeping quiet, sometimes you're just internally accumulating the pain. So there are a lot of psychiatrists who would tell us, don't keep it inside. You shout it out. You take it out.
Vent out.
Yeah, but again it means create that resentment and then vent it out. But then what will happen? They will keep getting angry. I will keep creating the hurt. I will keep venting it out. Their sanskar gets deepened and my sanskar gets deepened. So spirituality doesn't say vent it out. Spirituality teaches us don't create it in the first place. And which means if I am a so-called victim of somebody else's violent behavior, abusive behavior, I need to protect myself internally. This is where meditation will help. That I am able to remain in that field of negative energy, but remain stable, understanding that the attack is not on me, the verbal attack, we're not talking physical. The verbal attack or the reaction is not on me, it's only that personality taking out their...
I am the trigger.
I am not even the trigger sometimes.
Something else is
I'm
the
just
trigger.
the receiving end. I'm just the receiving end.
Victim. You wouldn't like this word.
You wouldn't want to be a victim, because if you call yourself a victim, then again you're creating the pain.
She here is thinking that I'm sacrificing what a great woman I am.
Yeah.
Look, in spite of all this nonsense, I'm taking it because of my marriage, because of my parents.
Yes, it is greatness.
Look, what will the world say?
It is greatness.
All those things in their mind.
It is greatness, but only outside. It would be really great if we could really take it inside. And inside means not create those negative thoughts. This is what is happening to me. What is wrong with my marriage? How will I live with this person? I have to go through this every time. I am the victim, my fortune, my bad karma. Every single thought is depleting my energy. And one thought could be, this is their behavior. They're going through a whatever, personality.
A disorder.
It's not a disorder, okay,
Any
whatever.
problem.
Like in this case, you said it's ADD, which means attention deficit disorder, or just anger. They're going through this. I just need to remain stable, and my stability will help them to come back to their stability. You know, it's like when someone is ill. People do behave in a different manner when they're ill, even physically. Some people can get very irritable when they are not well. Even if you're down with viral for 5 days, behavior can get very irritable. People around you do not get upset because they understand that you're not well. And they will in fact tell each other, it's okay, he's not well. Once he comes back to normal, he'll be fine.
Yeah.
So it's a thought.
I need to ask you one thing. Suppose I'm the person who's abusive. And I'm abusing you. I'm drunk. And you are my partner. Now you say to be stable. Fine. And a person who's drunk, and he always expects a reaction from the woman. Then he'll push her, he'll either touch her, or say, he'll try to do the maximum so that she reacts. What should a woman do at that time?
See, that's what we said. We're taking the second step, which is of physical violence, which could be with the under influence of alcohol or without alcohol. Also, there can be physical violence.
Yeah, I've seen people fighting with the wives, and when the wives don't reply, maybe if she's stable, not stable, what is her condition? They go on and on till they say, why aren't you? Why isn't she not reacting?
Yeah, because they want to use that reaction. It's basically a provocation. So let's not give them what they want.
Then do keep quiet till he beats you.
And by giving, what happens? Suppose the woman reacts. What happens?
It grows.
Either ways it grows, right?
Yeah.
So either ways it grows. Now, that means whether the wife reacts, if she reacts, even then the husband reacts.
More.
If she keeps quiet, even then he reacts. So let me understand that the opposite side is anyways going to react. This way or that way.
Okay.
Now I have to see my side, because right now my responsibility is not to take care of them. My responsibility is to take care only of myself. And if it is physical violence, then we definitely should not take it. We have a lot of women today who are tolerating physical violence. And if taken even once, it gives the other person the liberty to do it again and again and again. So if it comes to physical violence, we immediately have to protect ourselves, even if it means moving away. Even if it means moving away. Because physically, then you have to protect yourself physically. Emotionally, you have to protect yourself emotionally. What happens for most of the women today is, emotionally, they go into pain. So they don't protect themselves emotionally. And physically, they keep on taking that physical violence. So you're basically not protecting yourself either physically or emotionally. And then they're saying we're doing all this for the sake of our marriage. It's a question mark. What kind of marriage are we talking about? What relationship are we talking about? When both the souls are in so much of pain, what relationship? And then if we're saying we're doing this for children, in what environment are the children growing up when there's so much pain around them? So this is just an excuse to say that we're doing it for our children. If we really want to do it for our children, then we really have to do it the right way, which means at least one person will have to take care of themselves and not create that negative energy in the house. Physically, we shouldn't take it. physical abuse, then I have to protect myself physically. I cannot be there in the face of violence and protect myself physically without moving away. So one is we will have to protect ourselves physically. In fact, that's a power to face. Spirituality gives us this power to face. I've seen a lot of women who were otherwise earlier, taking all this kind of things from people because they were weak. This power to stand up is not there in everyone. So they were taking abuse and saying this is tolerance.
Self-esteem was very low.
Very low, but they didn't have the strength to stand up. Yeah. And it's nature that if you take exploitation, people will exploit you. It's very simple.
But you need courage to stand up.
Emotionally also it will be the same. So if somebody...
They use telling us to be stable.
So when I'm stable, I'm not taking exploitation.
Then what are you doing?
See, I'm not. If you're trying to emotionally provoke me and I'm not getting provoked, so I'm not getting exploited.
I was talking about that, a woman, when this man is shouting, fighting, if he keeps quiet, he doesn't like it. So what does she do?
I'm not really going to be concerned about what he likes such now. I'm not.
How will she control that situation? What does she do?
Physically,
leave the house?
Physically, yes. So spirituality even gives us the strength to stand up when we have to stand up. That's why there are two powers. One is the power to tolerate, one is the power to face. You can't keep on tolerating every time. There are times you have to face, and that requires strength. So if it's physical, it's power to face. Face it, and which means stand up and move out. But if it's emotional abuse, emotional is inside. Physical is outside. Physical, I'll need to move out to protect myself. Emotional, I don't need to move out to protect myself. I can be right there because emotional violence is only going to be inside. Physically, you can beat me. Emotionally, you can't beat me. Emotionally, I beat myself. So when you're beating me, I have to move away. I have to move away from your circle of influence. But if I'm beating myself, it's no need to move away from you. I'm beating myself. I have to just stop that. So emotionally, if there is abuse, I don't need to move out. I can be there and stop abusing myself emotionally. No one else abuses us emotionally. They can keep shouting. They can keep getting angry. They can use all the language that they want. But how I'm going to think after I listen to them, it's totally our choice. And yet there are people who can move away and yet keep emotionally abusing themselves because they can live in pain. There are couples who've had a divorce and they're still in pain. So they're not even meeting each other, but they're abusing themselves. So emotionally, I need to understand this is the personality trait of this person, and I need to now create the right thoughts. I am a powerful being. This person is saying what they are saying, but it's not to me. This is their illness, their emotional disturbance, their personality trait, which they're throwing out. I am a powerful being.
Full of love, compassionate.
I'm fine.
So I should give compassion.
It will automatically flow. Whatever I create will automatically flow. Don't need to give. But if I am, why are they saying it to me? They're doing this to me. Poor me. I have to go through all this. Since the day I got married, this is all that I am getting. This is also a choice of thoughts. So meditation and a daily dose of spiritual knowledge gives me the power to be at the receiving end of this kind of words and behavior, and yet be something else totally.
Here you can behave like a healer, like a doctor, and see the other person as a patient.
Actually, when you are, because when you're healed, it's like suppose you're shouting at me. If I get hurt, then I'm sending negative energy. But if I'm stable and I just create a thought, I am a peaceful being. And just remain in my, it's like that again example of the tortoise. That there is someone who's coming there and I can see danger coming. Don't stand there. Just withdraw. Be there. Don't move away physically. Don't even go into the next room. That can be very irritating for the other person because they want to shout.
What I was going to ask.
They want to shout, so don't move away.
Don't lock your room and make
but lock your room in here. Be there. And which means your words cannot penetrate through. And even if I can hear them, I still have a choice what to create. Be there. Everyone needs to experiment this. But the strength that is needed to do this comes from daily practice of meditation. Because when we are weak, we're not able to create the right thoughts at that moment. Be there, listen to them shouting, and just stand there with one thought. I am that pure, peaceful being. Because anyways, what they're saying is not relevant right now for us to hear.
Yeah.
It's not at all important. And then when I create this thought, then automatically that energy will vibrate. They might get provoked for some time because they're not getting what they want from us. But finally the energy will be healing. Now in this case, this lady has done a lot of effort outside without creating the right thoughts internally. She's been in pain but put in a lot of effort outside. So today she feels drained out. Even now, she just has to stop looking for what is to come from there and just start looking at what she's creating here. Even this thought, I have no love and respect left.
But this letter, the long letter she's written about her in-laws, friends, relatives, all those people, she still is in pain.
She's in pain. That's why. So it's not about healing the husband.
22 years. Sister.
Yes. But it's not about healing the husband anymore.
She says, I've become a machine.
Yeah, because internally she's not creating the right energy.
As you said, very important, sorry to interfere, sister. She says, I do not want my kids to go through broken home like many other American kids. Isn't this a broken home?
People feel that as long as they're living together, they've done their duty for their children. Now, throughout these 22 years, she has created this thought, I don't want to be with this person. I don't want to be with this family, but I'm doing it
for the sake of my kids.
For the sake of my kids. Not a very right thought.
So the basis...
Every thought matters. This thought is a thought of a victim. This thought is, poor me. I'm suffering so much. Look at what is my destiny. With all this thought, I'm tolerating everything outside.
For the sake of my children.
Yeah. So it doesn't work like this.
So the hard work of 22 years, same thing if she had done with a little knowledge of Brahmakumaris, as you say.
Just a little knowledge of what's the right thought internally. Actually, we thought that doesn't matter.
That is why now she doesn't respect him and love him.
It's not about she doesn't respect him and love him anymore. She's created so much negative energy over a period of 22 years that she's not being able to create the energy of love and respect, which just means she's not able to create pure positive energy. She's full of pain and hurt and resentment.
So can you tell her to do meditation?
Yes.
And go to the latest nearby Brahmakumaris.
That's definitely.
So why don't you tell her what you want?
She can go to the Brahmakumaris center and learn meditation. That will obviously create magic. But important is also, till she even goes and starts doing it, important is just to sit back and check your thoughts every day. And every thought which is not of the right quality, change. I do not feel any love and respect for him anymore. Change. I am a loveful being. I am. This is my nature. Love just flows from me.
I'm a soul.
I am. That's what. I am. That the nature of the me, the soul, is love. And in everything that I do, that positivity, that love is radiating. It's my thought. I just have to change the quality. And respect means I accept him now as he is. So it's not about getting from there. It's about what I have to give.
I've been doing so many episodes with you. I've tried so many things. But honestly, even I forget that I'm a soul.
Yeah.
I forget. What do I do? I try to get up in the morning. I do meditation. I try to read Murlis. But even then, sister, it's not...
Again,
I don't know why we forget.
Because it's something that we have forgotten since so many years, births actually. It's like, it's something hidden inside, and then label after label after label after label. So once you start removing the labels and you're just about to reach the core, again some more label. Again you try and remove it, again you try and reach there, again some more information and labels. So it's about this awareness that this is who I am, and that's why we do after every 1 hour, 1 minute of silence. Just meditation in the morning is not enough. I forget during the day. So after every 1 hour, we call it traffic control of the mind. It's a very beautiful concept at the Brahmakumaris. Traffic control of the mind. That is, after every 1 hour, pause for a minute I mean, at the centers and at the headquarters, we have a beautiful music that will play after every 1 hour. So wherever we are, whatever we're doing, we take a pause. But for us, those who are working and are out at homes, we use whatever method we can, like putting an alarm on the phone or, whatever technology help we can use. But after every 1 hour, take a pause, silent, and again the thought, I am a peaceful being. I am a soul. All this is acquired. Even that one thought and the way of looking at everything changes. Why did they say this to me? Why did they do this to me? Now what will people think about me? Now what will happen? Now what? Everything becomes immaterial when I remember this is all outside. This is who I am. And me, originally, very pure, very peaceful. I come back after that 1 minute of meditation, very anchored, very grounded to my original identity. Then again, as I move into the next hour, I could make mistakes. I can again create negative thoughts, again get upset. But now I'm aware. And as I create it, I immediately
You're aware,
bring it back.
while supposing I'm writing an email on an internet, after every 1 hour there's a beep, and I stop and say, okay, who am I? I'm a soul. What are my qualities? What are the qualities, traits of a soul? What are the real sanskars of a soul? Peace, love, happiness.
Yeah, now, like you said, after every 1 hour the beep. Now some people would say, but when there is a situation, like let's say, suppose this wife, okay, if she starts doing this today, then after every 1 hour, take 1 minute silence, okay? But she might say, but when my husband shouts, I don't remember it that time. You don't need to remember it that time. Don't need to. Don't even think that you're supposed to remember it that time. But if you've remembered it every morning and after every 1 hour, you're basically creating a belief system, a pattern. You're basically reprogramming your computer here. And so then once you've reprogrammed it every day and the stimulus comes, a different thought is going to arise. So don't bother that at that time I don't remember. Don't need to.
So
Don't need to. It will come naturally. It will come naturally at that time. Effort made earlier, when everything is okay, will give results when situation comes. You don't exercise when you fall ill. You don't exercise when you're eating the wrong food, but exercise over so many days gives you the power to fight the germs that come.
It's very easy for me to understand because as an actor, I remember things before the camera is on. Okay, I'm so-and-so, so-and-so. While shooting, while the camera is on, while the dialogues are in this situation, I don't say, oh, I'm a poor man or I'm a doctor.
It just flows, na?
Before that, I prepared.
But it flows then,
It
na?
flows
So the
naturally.
preparation before flows when the scene is there.
Yeah.
So similarly, preparation in the morning of meditation and a dose of spiritual knowledge, and when the scene comes, the pure soul just enacts it out.
Can you believe it? The whole episode has gone only for one lady's one letter. Thank you, Sita.